Coming to make Especially on the first side of the pitch, it's tough to get loose. Welcome to round 14 action here at NPL New South Wales men's competition. Sydney United versus Mount Druitt Town Rangers at the Sydney United Sports Centre. After starting off the season pretty poorly, Sydney United 58. Sydney United 58 versus Mount Druitt Town Rangers at the Sydney United Sports Centre in Adenza Park. Sydney United 58 versus Mount Druitt. Hello and welcome to round 13 action of the new NPL New South Wales men's competition. We're here at Adenza Park at the home of Sydney United at the Sydney United Sports Centre as they play host to the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Here to round out the action around 13, I'm Dominic Cronidi. Thank you very much for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. And it's sure to be an afternoon full of entertainment. Both of these two sides throwing caution to the wind, even in their last couple of meetings as well. It's always been a pretty entertaining clash between these two sides. Two sides that started off the season below expectations, and Sydney United, the hosts, have turned it around in the last couple of weeks, and on the heels of a couple good wins in the Cup midweek and a couple of weeks before that, they've turned their fortunes around. They're starting to gel. We see some big name signings in the off-season that were sure to impact the profile of this famous club, and on the heels of a couple strong wins, they're looking the goods now. But let's get to the starting lineups for both sides. Let's start with the hosts, and Ante Juric, just one change across the starting lineup and the bench for Sydney United 58. So starting in goals, number 1, Tristan Prendergast. Number 3, Bailey Rule. Number 4, Adrian Vlastelica, the captain. Number 8, Mario Chabot. Number 9, Patrick Antomi. Number 10, Carlos de Oliveira. Number 11, Matthew Hatch. Number 14, Liam McGing. Number 17, Michael Glassick. Number 23, the team's top goal scorer this season, Mason Wells. And rounding out the starting lineup on the right side of attack is Leroy Jennings. On the bench, the only change there is Michael Pratzina drops out from last week's squad that went down 3-2 to Blacktown City. Anthony Tomolich takes his spot in the number 5 jersey. He's joined by number 13, Alessandro Lacalandra, number 15, Tarek Meyer, number 19, Aidan Milicevic, number 22, Steven de Robillard, and number 31 in the backup goalkeeper role is Josip Olevic. So an early foul here, the way of the hosts, and it's been a bit of a pinball-y start for both sides. Obviously a bit of a delayed start here, with the under-20s match before going a bit over time. Sydney United under-20s victors there, 2-0. Now to the visitors, the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Their starting lineup is as follows. In goals, the captain, number 1, Dylan Niski. Number 2, Alexander Trajanowski. Number 6, Jared Masarola. Number 9, Joey Gibbs. Number 11, John Azar. Number 15, Caleb Jackson-Brown. Number 17, Zach Svilagoy. Number 20, Thomas Lopez. Number 21, William Rankin. Number 27, Shaden Sampao. And number 99, rounding out the starting lineup, is Rocco Fragali. And on the bench, number 7, Garang Awak. Number 16, Stefan Giglio. Number 18, Lachlan Vasilio. Number 22, Jude Rankin. Number 25, Joshua Mifsud. And number 34, Sebastian Rasic. And that is the lineups for both teams. So the Mount Druitt Town Rangers missing 2 pretty high-profile names. Arguably their best attacking weapon in Pedrino, and Tef at the back of the park. So 2 massive losses for Mount Druitt Town Rangers, and a side that is really struggling to start this season, to say the least. And their struggles kind of amplified in that Australia Cup loss to the Arncliffe Aurora. Down 2-1 just a couple of weeks ago. Great scenes out there, though. It's the magic of the Cup, but one side that knows a thing or two about a good Cup run, and it's the team in red here, on the heels of 2 straight wins now, as both sides really struggling to just get a foothold of this game. And this little battle in the middle there between the 2 former Blacktown City juniors, Caleb Jackson-Brown and Carlos de Oliveira, goes the way of Jackson-Brown, who's through on goal here, and Vlastelica looked to be a legal challenge there, shouldering off the attack of Jackson-Brown, and it's a pretty simple routine pickup for Prendergast in the end. Looks a bit, might have copped a knock there. Sydney United's number 1, hands on knees at the moment. A little bit worse for wear. We'll monitor that as the game goes on, but another free kick for the hosts to start off here. There's plenty of other action as well going on across the state, if you will. Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Blacktown City, and Rockdale Linden hosting Sydney Olympics. So in terms of not only the race for the finals, but the relegation fight, plenty to play for here today. So you got three sides in that bottom four: Sydney Olympic, Mount Druitt, and bottom of the league, Western Sydney Wanderers. Really set themselves apart. Matthew Hatch, long range strike first of the game. Wasn't a bad effort in the end. Had the power right, just went for that back corner, and it's got a little bit too much curl on it in the end, but first strike, first real chance for either side goes the way of Sydney United 58. Nothing too much danger for Niski in goals. South back there, long ball, Masarola. Just dribbles out. That's a disappointing end for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers, who have, I've got to say, would like to keep the ball a bit more than they're doing right now. And Telmi looks long and goes for that first time option. It was Jennings out on the left, but won back expertly by Mario Chabot. It's the Oliveira now. First touch football is beautiful here from Sydney United 58. Jennings across the face of goal. Open to the back stick is Chabot. First time effort, Bailey Rule! Oh my word. That would have been one of the spectacular strikes, not only this season, but in recent memory. Wow, wow, wow. And hangs his head high. Bailey Rule struck it absolutely beautifully. But wow, that first touch football on display. It's Trajanowski now. That first chance from Hatch a couple of minutes ago didn't send a warning strike across the Mount Druitt defence. That one definitely did, and they're not wasting any chances here. Masarola. Turning was Joey Gibbs and lost it, but winning it back, Caleb Jackson-Brown. Fragali. Off the back, Sam Powell. Assesses his options and goes out the left is Trajanowski. Finally, a nice little spell for Mount Druitt to enjoy a bit of football here in the first 5 minutes or so. Jackson-Brown with the long ball in the middle. Prendergast, strong hands to get to that one, to beat Joey Gibbs to it, and quickly releases Mason Wells. Try to go long with the switch. Jennings had his man covered out there, so you can understand the option, but a slap in the back there, I think it was, of Trajanowski. I'll be feeling that one tomorrow, especially as the weather cools down a little bit. That ball just slap in the back. Never a pretty sight. Niski. Telling his side to calm it down a little bit. Nice first time header. Another one, but unfortunately goes the way of the hosts. McGing had a little bit of time to think about that one, and Thomas Lopez on the follow-up. Not able to beat Prendergast. The Oliveira. Now Hatch. Doesn't waste any time trying to find Antelmi, but Niski beats him to it. Quickly releases that one to Fragali in the middle. So you've got to say, in this opening 10 minutes or so, it's probably favoured the hosts a little bit. Mount Druitt have had their chances to attack, but haven't been able to conjure up a genuine chance, if you will. A nice little overlap there on the right, but good tracking back there from the left winger. Leroy Jennings it was. William Rankin beat him for pace a little bit there, and looking to conjure something up, and they'll get a free kick for their troubles. Pretty quickly onto this one is Azar. Plenty of numbers forward, but just as many numbers back for the men in red.
Azar lofts it into the middle. That's headed back into the path of Jackson Brown, and I don't know if you call that a header from Pastelitza, more of a Falcon. But it gets it done, and Rule gets the foul for Sydney United, and they'll get possession back. Yeah, good little ball in the end there from Azar. But Mount Druitt, side that's struggled to keep sides out as much as they've found the back of the net this year. That's why they find themselves in the position that they are. Minus 17 goal difference, just 8 points to start this season. Ball, and that's what they've been trying to do all game, find Jennings and expose that space out wide. Jennings goes for the near stick and just clips the outside frame of the goal, and another good chance for Sydney United, getting the crowd behind them here in the early stages. That short goal kick didn't go to plan for Mount Druitt, and Sydney United now right back on the chase for another goal. Hatch. At the back is McGing. De Oliveira goes for the first time ball to tell me they look to play the advantage, but looks like a double collision as well. De Oliveira clashed knees there with, looks like, Fregali. So Mount Druitt just 12 goals from their first 13 games. Sydney United 18 in that department. So just 2 wins from the first 12 so far. 2 draws to show for it as well, and 8 losses. Sees them in 14th and level with the Western Sydney Wanderers for the time being. Just separated by goal difference. So it'll be a fascinating battle down the bottom there if either of those 2 sides can get a result here, but just as much. 3 sides in the race for finals. We'll be looking to do the same. De Oliveira. Chabot looked to turn. Popped a bit of a shove in the back, but play on for the time being. Leroy Jennings. Both sides looking for that early cross, not tempted to go down the byline and tempt the defense in a little bit. Frajali still on the sideline, testing out his knee. Is Mount Druitt Town Rangers temporarily down to 10, and Frajali enter back on the pitch at the next available opportunity. It's good to go, so we're back to level now. Pastelitza with a little dart from the back. Pretty rare that you see that from the skipper. And that's the advantage of having someone like Michael Glassick in your 6 role. Bailey Rule gets put into a bit of space here. Wells gets past one, finds Chabot, edge of the box. Jennings is there at the back stick, but it's a good header away in the end there by Rankin. And from defense to attack is Frajali's back down, but it's still play on for Mount Druitt. I think they're realizing that Frajali's afternoon could be over here with that knock to the knee that he suffered just a couple of moments ago. Still goalless in the other 2 games that we've got as well. Bit of a traditional clash between Rockdale Linden and Sydney Olympic, and then the Western Sydney derby, if you will. It's Frajali coming off and almost straight down the tunnel, and it's going to be another Rankin on. It's a very early substitution here, so Jude Rankin is the man that's going to replace Frajali in the centre of the park, which will work out pretty well for him, as he'll be pretty close to William Rankin on the right side of defence, as Mount Druitt opt to get it out just to get their substitute on so they can go back to level pegging in terms of men on the pitch. But I wonder if they're going to kick it back here and whether this could be a contentious point in this game. It's obviously Rankin at the 15-minute mark of this game. Wasn't expected to come on, so a little bit of a delay coming on. But United will take full advantage here. And tell me, surrounded by Mount Druitt Town Rangers players. Jennings. Out to Glassick. As I was saying before, just so clutch to have a player that can play a bit of 6 and fill in at centre half as well. And they've got a perfect replacement on the bench in Anthony Tomilich as well, if they need it. And tell me to get that on his left and strike that. You could see him lining it up as well, but it was a good stop in the end there. Turnover now. Chabot trying to get it to Antelmi, and his touch is just a little bit too heavy, and both of them recognising their fault in that situation. No harm play there. Gibbs heads it forward for Azar. Azar, another great cross in, and it was the substitute Rankin almost got ahead to it. But on that last play there, it was Zach Svilagoy. Almost went from 0 to hero. He made a good stop to put Paddy Antelmi down for a little bit, but coughing up possession just as quickly. And sometimes when you give a pass away in a blink of an eye, you could be down 1-0, and when you're in the spot that they're in, Mount Druitt, it's just mistakes like that that just frustrate them. Coach killers, as they say. They got away with it that time, but McGing with a bit of space to take it forward now. Goes to Rule. Wells, nice overlap from Rule. Gets it in the middle, and Antelmi turns too. But again, it's Svilagoy on clean-up duty, and he does really well to stop that attack. And now the other way, Mount Druitt. Gibbs, great first-time ball. Unleashes Lopez down the left. Jackson Brown. Kajanowski. Now he's got a bit of space to go forward if he wants. Finds Gibbs. Azar now. Beautiful space now with Jackson Brown. Goes for the top corner and just lobs it over the top. Another good chance there for Mount Druitt. The goal kick taken just as quickly. Can they take advantage of it now? Sydney United 58. Good form of late, as we said. Head to head, haven't had the best record here in Sydney United. Just one win in the last 6. Last time they beat Mount Druitt was when they were in this competition last in 2023. But before that, you have to go all the way back to the COVID-affected season in 2020 when they thumped them 5-0. They had a pretty good run of it before then, but between the years of 22 and all the way up until Mount Druitt's eventual relegation in 23, it's the visitors who have the upper hand, you'd say, if history is anything to go by. Hatch lost possession, kicked it out, and very, very well done there to get it off Rankin. Get a throw in for his side deep into Mount Druitt's half. Classic. His touch is a little bit heavy, but a jail free card there from the Mount Druitt defence. Telmi's trapped in a corner, but does well to get it back across the face of goal. But unfortunately for him, that's usually where he is, in the box. Disappointing end to that one for Sydney United 58, but plenty of positives to take from that, especially that left-hand combination with Matthew Hatch digging into his bag of skills to keep possession up there for Sydney United 58, but it's Mount Druitt now. Azar winning a throw for his side. Mount Druitt. Last time they played, it was a poor 2-1 defeat to Wollongong. I say poor, it was frustrating. It's probably a better word to put it for them. Had a couple of close ones in the last couple of weeks. A 3-2 loss to Blacktown and a pretty convincing 5-0 loss to Apia Leichhardt in round 10. And then that midweek cup loss to the Arncliffe Aurora, as we mentioned before, a 4-0 loss to Sydney Olympic, with their most recent win in round 7 against Sydney FC, where they got a 2-0 win. And that 1-1 draw with the Central Coast Mariners the week before, which is where their most recent points have come from. The Sydney United 58 have had a pretty decent cup run and cup draw as well. And the Tarrawanna Blueies midweek here with a 5-0 win and 4-1 win over the Glebe Gorillas just a couple weeks prior, so luck of the draw favours them so far. They've avoided any NPL competition so far, as Mount Druitt get a free kick in dangerous competition. Position, I should say, not competition. Got my competitions confused there for a second. It's going to be Azar again. On set piece duty. Goes to the back stick and try to pick out Thomas Lopez, but Mason Wells first to it. Attack not over for now though. Sam Powell. Under a bit of pressure is Rankin out on the right. Niski again, just that calming presence at the back. Telling his side not to worry, and Sydney United in a very, very high press with essentially 4 forward and just a decent gap between the midfield there. Michael Glassick holding it down, and you'd think if anyone would be able to do it, it's him. Trajanowski's ball across the middle, almost there for Lopez, but Vlastelica just with a touch away. It'll be a throw on the furthest touchline for Mount Druitt. Brown looking for Rankin. Gibbs, good turn. First time ball, try to pick out Lopez again and didn't work, and Chabot sticks it forward. Plenty of calls for handball, but won't be given, and they'll have to track back in defence quickly now, Sydney United. Thomas Lopez. Trajanowski. Trajanowski goes long, but no one else read it. Possession coughed up fairly easily there for Mount Druitt Town Rangers, as you just see Andy Montgomery on the sideline there, scratching his head, not sure what happened there. Bailey Rule gets the attack started the other way for Sydney United 58. Chabot out wide to Hatch. Oliveira. Mason Wells, heavy touch, spreads it out wide again to Hatch, who's got a bit of space this time. Just to go back in the middle through Glassick. Possession coughed up by Antelmi, and now plenty of space out on the left, and they've got a few numbers here, Mount Druitt, if they can expose the counter-attack here. In the middle, Lopez, another heavy touch, and Bailey Rule stuck out a leg. And the shot in the end there by Masarola, really close to the target, and wasn't troubling Tristan Prendergast. confusion between the ball kids here, closest to the substitute benches. Hence the delay in the goal kick. So we check back around the grounds. Plenty of goals. The 15 minutes that we didn't check at Blacktown City with a 2-0 lead over the Western Sydney Wanderers, and it's Rockdale who now have a 1-0 lead over Sydney Olympic. Bailey rule. Classic. Another heavy touch, and Sydney United 58 have had a couple of those gone the wrong way when attacking, and Caleb Jackson-Brown, who won the ball back, now with a chance to attack, tripped by Chabot, and it's going to be a yellow card for Mario Chabot for stopping that attack. Mario Chabot, if you weren't too familiar with that situation, you would have thought he was lining up the free kick there, but it's Joey Gibbs who fancies himself from this range. What can he do? Joey Gibbs goes underneath the wall, just not enough power to trouble Prendergast. I'll be disappointed with the outcome of that one, for sure. Possession coughed up though just as quickly. Now another chance, Masarola. His pass stuck out, and Jennings tries to create something for himself. Ball through to Rankin, who loses possession, and now Mason Wells goes early, tries to find Jennings, and pretty easy defending work there by Zach Svilagoy, who loses it just as quickly. Commentators curse striking everywhere here today. Possession back with the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Jackson-Brown starts forward. Possession coughed up there by Rankin. De Oliveira sees a bit of open space. Svilagoy. Sam Cowell. Lopez inadvertently sends his pass straight into Jackson-Brown, but a deflection falls very, very kindly for him. Went to ground, but not sure if that was an illegal challenge there. It could have fallen really good for Joey Gibbs there, but Jackson-Brown, who's made a mark in this game, that's for sure. Last week's highest rated player, according to SofaScore, in that 2-1 loss to the Wollongong Wolves. Rankin thinking about the long throw, but he's got option short if he wants. Headed away by Glassick and out for another throw-in. Rankin to Rankin. It's Rankin squared, taken down just outside the box, and Sydney United 58. We'll have to count their blessings there, though. That wasn't given a penalty because that was inches away from a spot kick. So it's Will Rankin. Put Jude Rankin through on goal. That is just so close to being a penalty. Lopez goes for the back stick and misses the frame, and unfortunately misses Joey Gibbs as well. Apologies, that looked to be Sam Powell who took it. It's a bit unexpected from a centre-half to take a free kick from that range, so apologies for that. Back with Sydney United here is captain Adrian Vlastelica. Look forward and didn't see Joey Gibbs in front of him. Vlasic's pass falls perfectly to Azar. Now we see that high press of Sydney United in full action here. Something trademark of Ante Juric. Mason Wells almost wins it back there. Great bit of skill by Sam Powell. First time ball given away by Trajanowski. De Oliveira toe pokes it to Hatch. Nothing doing. Just happy to reset and play it out through the back now. King. Rule. Back to sender. Chabot. Wells. Good first time ball. Nice little 1-2 between him and Antelmi. Tries to find Jennings, who looked to curl it mid-air. Hatch heads it back forward, but shift to the right, just force numbers forward and missing that man out on the left there. But Vlastelica will collect it back up, and Prendergast now resetting. De Oliveira starting from very deep in that defensive line. Just over 10 minutes to go here. McGing. Had the run of Wells through the middle, but opted to go with Rule. Is it going to work out for Sydney United 58? De Oliveira again looking for that 1-2. It's going to work out well for him though. Wells, who knows, he's one of the fastest players in the competition and can get past just about anyone. He's taken down outside the box, and that is a good set piece for Sydney United 58 to win. Plenty of calls for a yellow card for that one. And I think he's saying that it was on the handball earlier, not on the foul. Hence, no card given. Caleb Jackson-Brown's dealing with a bit of a laceration on his right arm. He's getting attended to at the moment. Sure if he does have to come off for that because he is bleeding, so they're quickly taping him up, trying to get him back out there. But again, Mount Druitt down to 10 for the time being. Wells, edge of the box, Chabot. De Oliveira goes for it, Carlos De Oliveira. Niski, pretty comfortable save there. So I believe it looked like it was either Vlastelica or Vlasic who went down in the box. He's looking for a penalty. The referee wasn't interested at all. As again, Mount Druitt still down to 10. Jackson-Brown getting that cut on his arm rebandaged and having to get a new jersey due to the blood on it. So he's now donning the number 39, Caleb Jackson-Brown. Vlastelica now. Hatch sees the overlapping run of Jennings, but Rankin seen it as well and tucks it away for a throw-in. Again, long touch forward, again Jennings. They've almost exclusively done that to get Jennings involved this game. Just long balls over the top to him and a little push and shove between him and Rankin, and it's the Mount Druitt defender who gets the better of him this time. Close to half-time in the other two games as well. Rockdale still with a 1-0 lead and Blacktown City 2-0 over the Western Sydney Wanderers. Just under 10 minutes to go here. And a pretty relatively balanced first half. I'd say Sydney United 58 probably holding the upper hand in terms of attacking chances, but Mount Druitt have had their chances, probably an equal amount. It's just United more clear cut. Neither keeper really caught into any drastic action as of yet. And we see Mount Druitt forced to make an early substitution with Fragile coming off with a knee injury in the opening stages of this one. Owen taken quickly with Rule and quick touch to Wells. To Oliveira forward to Antelmi. Strong contact there, and Antelmi's given a yellow card, which looked like it was, well, now looks like it was a inadverted elbow to the face of Caleb Jackson-Brown. Seems to be in a bit of hurt there from that, and you can almost hear the impact from up here at the Boca stand. So he'll be down for a little bit, getting a bit of treatment there. Possible a little bit of blood as well. It's getting through a mountain of work, both teams. As you can see, the fatigue of this opening 35 minutes just starting to set in a little bit. So Trajanowski will get the action back underway here. Confused as what he wants to do here, Trajanowski. Goes short and to the left, and that's a good ball to Azar. Ball in, Lopez. Thomas Lopez! Inches away from the opener. The best chance of the game so far, probably for either side. And it's Thomas Lopez's shot. Just goes wide of the target. Stolitza. Carlos heard the calls of his name from Antelmi and decided to go long to Leroy Jennings, but just couldn't get the cut across. Went straight and direct. Carlos De Oliveira playing a more deep midfield role that we're used to. Obviously, Mario Chabot occupying the 10 role, if you will. That's a pretty nasty challenge there. De Oliveira nudged in the back of the neck. But no card given. Back in the action, De Oliveira. He's everywhere. Bailey Rule shrugs off a bit of contact there, but it's that pass straight to Trajanowski, and now Jackson-Brown the other way. Rankin squared again, Rankin to Rankin. Jackson-Brown. That pass pretty easily dealt with there by Hatch. And Antelmi now with a bit of chance to get a counter going. Vasilitsa switches it. De Oliveira. Surrounded by yellow shirts. This is good counter pressing by Mount Druitt. McGing out to Vasilitsa. Goes long and direct to Mason Wells. How's your touch? Try to skin Trajanowski, but it's the defender out on top. It's one for the defenders this game. It's Azar's shot. Clearance deflected by Wells and back into a dangerous area as McGing wins it back. Fall in the way of Mount Druitt, however. Rankin, just too many red shirts around him and not enough support in attack that time. Again, looking for that 1-2, De Oliveira and Telmi. And Sam Powell has had a sensational game so far. Comes out on top again. Rankin with the overlapping run. It was a good ball by Masarola. Rankin went down in the box, but a fair challenge in the end. And something that Sydney United have struggled with so far this game, it has to be said, is the counter-attacking, and they've looked more strong when they've taken their time in attack and just picked apart this defensive structure. Trademark Sydney United stuff, that really. De Oliveira out wide with Bailey Rule. Thought about going for the early cross, but finds Antelmi, who does well to keep possession. Mason Wells takes his first cross. Chabot. Good ball from Wells to find Glassick. Cuts it back inside. Bailey Rule's going to think about it. Had his shot cut off and gave it to Hatch in plenty of space. De Oliveira edge of the box. Chabot heads it on. Mason Wells. Glassick. Just taking their time. Sydney United 58. Will their patience pay off? Sensational ball. Wells back in the middle. And Bailey Rule almost had a clear shot at goal there. A yellow card there for Trajanowski for the earlier challenge, but great bit of attack there by Sydney United 58. Showing plenty of patience and maturity there, not to just strike it as soon as they had a sight at goal. They probably had about 5 or 6 in that play there and just waited, and patience almost paid off. Pretty solid shot to the head there of Mason Wells. Goes out for a throw and shakes it off pretty valiantly there. It was a decent effort there from Trajanowski. It's one of those ones that you wince at seeing live and hearing the impact. Throw now, Lopez tried to head it back and went straight out. Bailey Rule now just creeping over the other side of halfway, which the fourth official is happy to point out that he might have gone a step too far. Chabot tries to flick it around to Antelmi and it'll go out for another throw, and a bit of wasted possession there by Sydney United 58. Gibbs. Great ball by Trajanowski, and Rankin was making the overlapping run, but it was Hatch first to it. Wells, just a little bit of friendly push in the back there by Trajanowski. Nothing too concerning there. McGing. Salitza. De Oliveira looking for the first time. Ball through to Jennings. Might have kept it in, might have not. To Mount Druitt throwing. Long throw, coughed up there by Gibbs, but ended back in his possession. Telmi does well tracking back there. And now going forward with De Oliveira, and he's fouled again. And he's calling for a foul, considering it's the third challenge in pretty quick succession on Sydney United 58's number 10. Not to be given, but he'll be given the opportunity to get across in here for this set piece. Just about everyone forward except the two fullbacks for the hosts. Oliveira, good header by Classic, and then tell me from point blank range, the bounce was deceiving, and he's hit the crossbar. Although he was offside in the end, that'll give him a bit of relief, but the best chance of the game so far. 2 minutes of injury time. Sydney United 58 will be kicking themselves that they're not ahead after that. Sensational balling by De Oliveira. Just the easiest of headers there for Classic. Through on goal. It probably needed a touch from Antelmi, but just seeing that dribble off the bar would have been absolute agony for the number 9. They'll get another chance here though. Lopez sends it out. It's Gibbs just back to his feet as we speak. He's down for a couple of moments there. And Lopez again, not too keen on seeing his side concede moments before the break. McGing. Wells hugging that touchline and does well to cut in. Mason Wells, he's scored a few from that range this season already. Some absolute worldies. Wasn't to be that time though. All back to Wells, and everyone just toyed with it and just dribble out. Probably what is the last attack of the first half for the hosts. Final kick of the first half. Both sides have had their chances, but they both go in without a goal. So plenty to play for in the last 45. Join us back here in 15 minutes for the second half of action. Welcome back to the Sydney United Sports Centre. Second half action between Sydney United 58 and the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Back underway here. Mount Druitt gets us back underway here. So 2 substitutions to list from the break. Obviously with quite a congested schedule over the last couple of weeks or so, and obviously coming up with a few more cup games in hand. Ante Druitt has taken off Mark Glassock for Anthony Tomilic. And he's been out of the squad a little bit, the first team squad. Played a few cup games and really impressed in that midweek game, which probably sees him getting his chance here. And on the right side of the park as well, chance here for Gibbs. Good little spin and turn, and Rule has to clean it up, and it's going to be a goal kick. He's done really, really well to get that. It looked like off the legs of Masarola, I should say. And Mason Wells has come off on the right side as well for Aiden Milicevic. No changes from the Mount Druitt front as well, although Caleb Jackson-Brown, as we noted in the first half, had a bit of a laceration on the arm and had to change his jersey from 15 to 39 with no name on the back as well. So if you do see that, that is the listed number 15, Caleb Jackson-Brown, for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers, the Sydney United 58. Cough up possession pretty quickly there. It's a pretty even first half in terms of chances, with the best chance of the half fell just before the stroke of injury time, the 45th minute. Patrick Anselmi on the heels of a backwards header from Michael Glassick. Just got that little deceptive bounce and couldn't control it, had to get a foot to it and hit the bar and went over, although he was offside. Chabot now. Great turn by Anselmi, who was almost balancing on the ball and lost his footing as Zach Svilagoy went and collected that ball. Tomilic with his first involvement of the game there, just into the back of Azar. Rankin ball, try to get on the back of that ball, and just a little bit too much for him. Both Rankins on the right side now, right back and right wing. So you can tell a bit more future planning here from Ante Juric. He must be happy with what he's seen, making that double substitution as well, but still got plenty of options on the bench as well if he wanted to, attacking weapons in the form of Alessandro Lacalandra and Stephen de Robillard. And obviously Tarek Meyer played just about anywhere in the middle of the park. Good options to have on the bench. And as for Mount Druitt, obviously with Jude Rankin on, only 4 more outfield players to pick from: Garang Awak, Stefan Giglio, Lachlan Basilio, and Joshua Mifsud. New challenge in the middle of the park there between De Oliveira and Svilagoy, and it's Sydney United's number 10 who wins out on that one. It gets the free kick for his side, and Vlastelica was caught up with a little bit of an argument there with Svilagoy, using his footballing brains there to get ahead of it and try to get the free kick while the centre-back was out of position. Hatch now with the throw. Plays it across, pretty dangerous ball, but McGing first to it. Stops it from almost certainly going through for Thomas Lopez, and Rankin just overruns it a little bit. Jennings has to get it out of danger and does really well there. It's Rankin's touch out for a throw. Chabot turning into space. Tomilic try to loft it over the top, and it's out on the full. Try to find Bailey Rule out there on the right. With his first touch of the ball of the game. Kicks it out, unfortunately. Chabot catching the defence lacking, and now a chance for Sydney United 58. Can they conjure the first chance of this second half? De Oliveira, great 1-2. Carlos De Oliveira. Deflected, but not entirely out of danger. And a few players on the ground there, and one of them being Patrick Antelmi, and it was Massarola as well. Caught up in that, and it was Chabot that ended up firing away. Gibbs just happy to let that one rest with the centre backs, get back into position. Rankin's under pressure by Jennings, took him out without the ball, and that's a free kick and possibly a card for Leroy Jennings. Just a stern word by the referee. Has been a pretty physical first half from both sides. Probably Mount Druitt, you would say, getting the edge in that category for the first half. A few cards issued either side as well, but nothing too, no malice intent there, if you will. It's that header from Gibbs into danger, and Lopez had two to pick from there, and both players thought the other one was going for it, and the Sydney United defence saying, no worries, we'll take that. And tell me, De Oliveira sends it out wide. Leroy Jennings. Try to do the same thing, but in transition, the Mount Druitt defence does well. Chabot, heavy touch, almost loses it. Does well to get it back. That's a great first time ball there by Milicevic. Haven't seen much of him this season. De Oliveira. Is he going to go for it, Carlos De Oliveira? Just didn't get underneath it and had a heavy touch to get a bit of space and had to lunge out to get it. Didn't work out well in the end. So such this high press from Sydney United 58 has worked out well for them a few times. Rankin, Ronaldo chop on the right, skins Matthew Hatch. Now space for Rankin. Jude Rankin can't get past Tomilic, and it's out for a corner. Looping cross in there. Doesn't go the way for Sam Powell. Centre half. The set piece specialist for Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Doesn't work out well for him that week. Stolitza. What to play for here. Final 35 minutes of this one. Just wonder if there's just going to be that big cannon event moment in this game that you look back on that'll change the trajectory of it. The two sides, it's going to strike eventually. It's just two. Matthew Hatch crossed it in, deflected on the outstretched leg there of Rankin, and it went back off him. And out for a corner. So back to our other two games happening across the grounds as well. Blacktown City now 3-0 up over the Western Sydney Wanderers after they are down to 9 men, 2 red cards there. And Rockdale Linden up 3-0 over Sydney Olympic. Alec Wodaszewski scored an absolute beauty, but pick of the bunch so far. You can check this out on the NPL New South Wales socials. This goal from Danny Choi from, say, halfway between the half-lay line and the 18-yard box. And Just sees a ball pop up to him and hits it first time and absolutely bangs it in the back of the net. So check that out if you've got a second, because that is absolutely worth your viewing. So 2 red cards within 7 minutes there for the Western Sydney Wanderers, and that would be their hopes all but done and dusted at 3-0 down, as Dale as well holding that strong 3-0 lead as we await the first goal here between Sydney United 58 and the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Svilagoy resetting out the back. Jackson Brown now with a bit of space on the right. Almost taking a page out of the Sydney United 58 book here. Nothing's on, turning it back to defence and waiting for something to pop up as Tomilic forces the turnover in coordination there with De Oliveira, and that's going to be a yellow card for John Azar, stopping the counter-attack as De Oliveira has been fouled quite a bit, and I think the referee might have told him at the end of the first half there that he's had one too many fouls on him and could be perceived as a targeted attack. So the next one's a yellow card, and it just happened to be him. Batsalissa with a through ball. Trajanowski's deflection only as far as Bailey Rule. Just sticking foots out to try and keep possession, and Tomilic is the first one to do it. Tomilic loses possession in the middle of the park and almost won it back though. Now working hard back in transitional defence. Svilagoy. Trajanowski coughs possession up in a really bad area for Mount Druitt. Intelmi gets it back in. Milicevic forward to Chabot. Almost everyone's out of position here in that front third. Chabot on the right. Gets a cross in and pretty easily dealt with there by Sam Power. Calls for a handball, but looked to have been the chest. Matthew Hatch tripping up over the ball there, but gets the better of it. Leroy Jennings. Got options behind him, but beaten to the ball there by Rankin. He launches it forward as Tomilic recovers possession. Matt Hatch. Good ball to pick out Milicevic, and a deep, deep throw for Sydney United 58. You can see the jackets starting to come out here at Adenza Park. After 4 o'clock here, it just gets no more sunlight and the cold starts to take effect. Siante Duguc on the sideline with the puffer on. Tell me now, just dragging him back. Goes down. Doesn't lose possession of the ball though, and it's going to be a corner for Sydney United 58. Goes across, targets the front stick. Headed away, not out of danger though. Rule flicks it back to Chabot. Spent plenty of time out wide in this second half. Chabot gets a good cross into the back stick and a great header by Patrick Antelmi. Just wide of the target. Did well on the back pedal to get to that. Another chance goes begging for Sydney United as we reach the hour mark here. Tomilic wins the header back off that goal kick. And Tommy looking to get something started, fouled in the process. Vlastelica with the diagonal ball. Good one to pick out Rule, and a bit of time to think about it here, Bailey Rule. Still with it now, Milicevic. Rule back across the face of goal. Sensational stop there by Zach Svilagoy. Chabot, good cross just a couple of moments ago, has the early option of Milicevic, doesn't opt to go there. Right in the middle, Vlastelica's header, not on target, but out to De Oliveira. Took a pretty decent deflection on the way up, it must be said. He's kicking himself over that one. Those ones just pop up to him at the edge of the box, and it's most footballers' dreams. With a bit of power behind it as well, just to launch it in the back of the net, but not to be. Mount Druitt Town Rangers defence holding strong. Rule, first time cross. Vlastelica gets it back into a dangerous position. And Telmi heads it to Jennings, who gets his shot off, but the offside flag was raised moments before. So a sigh of relief there for Mount Druitt, who will be hoping to get out of their own end for a little bit here. Headed on by Gibbs, but one back by the United 58 defence. Bailey Rule now, and see, there's just almost hunting like a pack of wolves. Mount Druitt. Going to trap either one of the United fullbacks into a corner, but as a result of that, there's plenty of space on the opposite side, which is what Sydney United are looking to go through now. Tomilic. Lovely ball over the top. Here's a chance. Milicevic taken down, and it's a penalty. A sensational run by Milicevic, but an even better ball by Anthony Tomilic. Fooled the defence with a no-look chip over the top, and absolutely no one was tracking that run. Had a bit of time to think about it, Aiden Milicevic, and line it up. Got fouled in the process, and now Patrick Antelmi with a chance to open the scoring from the penalty spot. So Mount Druitt making a substitution here. It's going to be Thomas Lopez coming off for Garang Awak. Not too sure if this is tactical or not, to try and pull Patrick Antelmi off his game a little bit. Antelmi buries it. And Sydney United 58 have their opener in the 63rd minute. Great strike, picked his spot, didn't put too much power behind it because he didn't need it, because not many keepers are going to be able to stop it from there. Sydney United 58-1, Mount Druitt Town Rangers 0. Mount Druitt going a little bit early there. Referee hadn't blown his whistle. And also opting to go back to the two-man kickoff. Have to see a bit of old school football back in here. Under half an hour to go now. 25 minutes, if that. Possession coughed up pretty quickly by Mount Druitt off the restart. Vlastelica on the right wing. Very unfamiliar position, you got to say. Header away into a path with the substitute, Garang Awak. Does well to get it out wide for Rankin. A throw for Mount Druitt. Stolitzer heads that one away, but just took a little bit of a spin and a curl, and it'll end up back with the visitors. Milicevic try to work hard to get that one back into play and seemingly fooled Sam Powell. Got his side to throw in the process. Great hold up play there by Antelmi, and back pass going a little bit astray for Carlos de Oliveira. It's Filigoy. Tomilic does well to clean that one up, and he's made a good impact since coming on. And Chabot finished that one off. Antelmi, great little 1-2 with Jennings, who's offside. Just mistimed that one a little bit. Blacktown City have scored a fourth against the Western Sydney Wanderers from the spot, much like Patrick Antelmi moments ago. Back to the action here though with Awak. Gibbs lost his footing a little bit there, but recovered. Jackson Brown, Rankin, first time cross in the middle, set up perfectly for Gibbs, but the stop by McKing was enough to put it off. And an ideal outcome there for the Sydney United 58 defence, considering how dangerous that ball looked. Matthew Hatch hasn't stopped from the 18-yard box all the way and tried to get it across to Leroy Jennings. Tomilic, probably a tactical foul there just to slow that counter-attack down a little bit, but nothing too malice there. Won't get a yellow card. Good 1-2 play there by Azar and Gibbs as he tries to return it to the number 9. But Prendergast first to it. Hasn't had too much hard work in terms of actual shot stopping, but he's been made to work in terms of his positioning and getting out to balls first. And he's had a high usage rate coming out through the back. The two centre backs more than happy to give it back to the keeper every once in a while to get the play restarted. It's Bailey rule. Tomilic with that pass, giving Vlastelica a license for the diagonal. Good first time ball over the top. Milicevic back into the middle, but straight into the grasp of Niski. Rankin assessed his options up top and not happy with it, had to play it back. Gibbs. And a little shuffle back there, it looked like, from Azar. It's given possession to Sydney United 58, and Leroy Jennings in a dangerous position. Great challenge there by Masarola. An even better ball there by Azar. Rankin, acres of space to play with. Gets it across the face, and Tomilic again with a foot to it. It's been everywhere since coming off the bench at halftime, the number 5. McGing. That's some Vlastelica. Prendergast. Juric urging his side to go forward and push Mount Druitt defensive structure a bit out. Chabot almost lost his balance and gets around Trajanowski. Milicevic spots the run of De Oliveira, who almost gets there first, but Niski, the veteran keeper, wasn't going to be stopped there. So Mount Druitt's brain trust on the bench, lining up a substitution or two. Rankin's pass finds Awak, and his one is deceptively dealt with by Liam McGing. Chance for a second here, possibly Sydney United 58. Had numbers, just again that trademark, playing it back and just waiting for a chance to open up. Jennings. Hatch gets it through the legs of Jackson Brown, and it's going to come out well here for the number 10. De Oliveira hit the deck pretty hard there. Let's hear that thud from up here. And a free kick for Sydney United 58. So 18 minutes to go here. Aaron Awak getting some treatment on the side there, as Leroy Jennings is currently only on 1 foot. I think his shoelaces are tied either. So he's out of the attack. Vlastelica a long diagonal again to Rule. The header goes astray, but just try to keep it in and was just short. So throw in for Mount Druitt. It's going to be Vasilio coming on, but Chabot goes for the early effort. That could have been the icing for Sydney United 58. And a pretty decent chance goes astray. Vasiloi will be coming on for John Azar, who had a very decent shift, it must be said. The number 18 darts onto the pitch with a bit of energy, and it's probably something they needed. So Lachlan, Vasiloi. Mount Druitt, it's been a bit of a tough second half for them after a pretty positive showing in the first half, plenty of chances, and just really struggled to get the final pass to connect. The last pass in the final third. And they've coughed up possession probably one too many times for their liking as well, especially in areas like this, where Sydney United 58 have been thriving this game. Filagoy with Sam Powell, Trajanowski, Sarola. Under a bit of pressure here from De Oliveira. Sticks a leg out. Jennings forces the mistake, but gets a throw and just sends them back 10 metres or so. Rankin. Under a bit of pressure there and does well to find his centre half. Trajanowski with a heavy touch. Be lucky to get away with that one as well. Speaking of lucky to get away with, probably lucky to get away with a foul there was Anthony Tomalich, and advantage played, rightfully so. Miski, his first touch of the ball in a while, and that type of play is Ante Juric thinking about another substitute possibly. Howak, good ball, Jackson Brown, and an even better stop to get a foot out to that one with Anthony Tomalich, but a corner for Mount Druitt. No free headers, the call from Ante Juric on the sideline. Jude Rankin on quarter duties now. Can he conjure up? Goes to the front stick, and De Oliveira diffuses that for the time being. A long looping cross. Howak's at the back stick, but he's offside. Sydney United 58 in absolutely no rush to take this, and fair enough. Stephen de Robillard will be the next substitute to come on, likely for Leroy Jennings. So this win for Sydney United 58 will push them as far as 7th, and just behind Manly United in that final top 6 spot. So it's Carlos De Oliveira who's going to make way. He's copped a few pretty heavy blows and one of the more crucial players to this side, especially in the middle of the park. So Leroy Jennings will take his spot in the centre of the park, and it's Stephen de Robillard who will go on the left wing. Fresh legs on either wing now for Sydney United 58. So if they were to win this Sydney United 58, that'll be 4 of their last 5 in the league. Include the cup, will put them in pretty good stead going forward after a pretty rocky start. Mount Druitt, if they were to get a goal back here, that would just do absolute wonders for them and just give them a bit of separation from Western Sydney and the Central Coast Mariners, as Western Sydney have all but lost another 3 points against Blacktown City. Central Coast obviously going down 3-2 to St. George City yesterday as a long-range effort from Spilagoi. Bounces off the back of Tomalich. Jennings the other way. Good ball out wide. Chabot's on the wing again. Might have to put in a request to keep him on the wing permanently because he's done a sensational job in coverage so far this game. And Milicevic occupying his spot in the centre of the park. Still there, Milicevic. Rule. It's almost like a pseudo right wing role for Jennings and Milicevic, taking their turns going centrally, going out wide. Whoever's got the legs to make that last dart out on the right. Vlastelica. Thought about it, the captain, but went to his attackers through Stephen de Robillard, and his touch was a little bit too heavy. Tracking back the skipper, wins possession back for his side. That's a valiant effort from Vlastelica. De Robillard's back pass, not as much power as he'd wanted behind that. It's comfortably taken by Prendergast, but under a little bit of pressure there by the fresh substitute there, Garen Howak. It's Bailey Rule. Beats Trajanowski and gets a bit of space to go down the right. That ball might be a little bit too heavy. It's just going to hold up for Jennings as he wins his side of throw-in that Jackson Brown has taken, and the referee changed the linesman's mind, which has left the Sydney United 58 defence in a bit of confusion. And now Hatch. sun's all but disappeared from Adenza Park. The floodlights will have to come on now. Catch. 1-2 with Tomalic. Now look to do the same with de Robillard. Tomalic trapped into a bit of a corner there in an unfamiliar position at left back. Rankin. He's passed straight to Antelmi. And that last ditch of energy, Antelmi just trying to get underneath that one, but they'll get possession back, so not all a waste of energy, that. Tomalic. Now Vlastelica. Strong run forward from the skipper, who was fouled. He's made a couple of them this game, and as we said earlier, that combination of either Glasic or Tomalic in the 6 role allows him to do that. Plenty of those two players with the body type and positional awareness to play in centre-back, and obviously Tomalic has started a few games at centre-back in recent history for Sydney United. Vlastelica goes diagonal again. And the header from Trajanowski went a bit wayward, and you were wondering why, and it was because Jennings was underneath him, as the referee has duly noted. Powell's clearance. Almost won back by Milicevic, and eventually into the grasp of Bailey Rule, and now out for a throw for Sydney United 58. Now Mount Druitt, who haven't had a real attacking chance in the last 6 to 8 minutes, look to have one here. Jackson Brown. Silu. Milicevic body on the line there to stop that one. Rankin. Suligoi. That header straight to Vlastelica. There's no problem just getting rid of that one, and cornered his Rankin. Does very well to get out of that dangerous area. Awak. Trajanowski, very advanced. Here's Awak again. So full time in both the other games. Rockdale 4-0 over Sydney Olympic, and Blacktown City with a 4-0 win over the Western Sydney Wanderers, who will be reeling after that with 2 red cards in that one. 1-0 here with 6 minutes to go. Ball in the middle. Good foot to it. Awak! Forced a sensational save from Prendergast on the first time effort. And now Mount Druitt seizing a bit of the momentum and looking to salvage a point from this one. Sam Powell back on corner duties. Front stick again, and it's de Robillard who gets to it first and possibly diffuses the situation altogether. Milicevic picking the pockets there, and Antelmi's through. Started his run before halfway. Patrick Antelmi, can he seal it for Sydney United 58? Dylan Niski held his ground and made a sensational save. Attack not over though. Milicevic with room. Goes for the curling effort, bangs it into Sviligoi, and it's going to be a free kick for handball and sacks Sviligoi, who was just protecting his face really, but it did look to hit the underside of his arm there, and now a real chance for them to sign, seal and deliver the 3 points. 5 minutes to go. Take plenty of time setting this one up. Looks like it's going to be one of Chabot or De Robillard. Draft excluder in the wall as well, so can't go underneath for this one. Got to go the hard way. De Robillard goes low. A last-ditch effort foot that just stuck out there. I think it was Vasiloi. Golden opportunity goes begging again for Sydney United 58. Milicevic and Telmi. The position there, Chabot. One more to Jennings. Gets it across the face and smashes that one in. Stings the hands of Dylan Niski. Now Mount Druitt. The minutes are just ticking away for them. Miss-hit goal kick by Niski, but it will work out advantageously for the visitors. All over the top, try to find Rankin, and you can just tell he's just emptied the gas tank, as many of the players have in the dying stages of this one. And a free kick for Adrian Vlastelica there. So final substitution here, it's going to be Alessandro Lacalandra coming on for the last 5 or so minutes, you'd say, with a bit of injury time sprinkled in there. Likely replace Patrick Antelmi, man whose goal separates the two sides. Pinball in the back there, and Garang Awak's down with what seems to be a pretty nasty knock in the hamstring. Referee's going to have to play on until the ball goes out, which was helped on there by Matthew Hatch. Ball forward. Awak is just rooted to the spot, and a goal kick for Sydney United 58. And the substitution now official. Patrick Antelmi will make way for Alessandro Lacalandra. Under 60 seconds to go of regulation here, and Sydney United are looking to hold on to the 3 points, much needed 3 points, which will get them on level pegging for the race for the top 6. So I'll say 5 points behind Apia Leichhardt. We'll have 2 more wins than them at the conclusion of round 13, and leaving it all to play for in the weeks to come as we hit the mid-season point of this season. So foul there by Milicevic, just trying to stop it, and Niski ordering his troops up the field. It's all or nothing now for Mount Druitt. It's official word, 3 minutes of injury time. More forward by Niski, headed away by De Robillard, but a throw in now for Sydney United 58. Hatch. Forward forward to Lakalandra. Beautiful ball to find Milicevic, and now Derobelard. Space to go forward. They're going to go for it here, Sydney United. Derobelard goes for goal. A sensational solo goal seals the win for Sydney United 58. And it's Stephen Derobelard making it 2 for the hosts. And you can deliver those 3 points to Adenza Park now. What a run by Derobelard. And the courage to go for it from that angle as well. Just picked his spot, was never in doubt. And the substitute gets his side the 3 points. There's one last substitution here for Sydney United 58, and it's Tarek Meyer who replaced Mario Chabot. A full 90 minutes under his belt, Mario Chabot had a sensational effort. It's just about restoring pride here for Mount Druitt. They're not stopping in their attacking pursuits. As Bailey Rule dummied that one out and probably got a bit lucky that Trajanowski's touch was a little bit too heavy there. Prendergast gets rid of that one, and it's 60 seconds left of injury time, which sees the Mount Druitt Town Rangers staring down the barrel of a 5th straight league defeat. Looking for a last-ditch effort there, but a calamity, a collection of Sydney United defenders stopping that attack for the time being. Can they get one more here? One last one. Ball in, headed away by Vlastelica, and that's probably going to be the last attack for Mount Druitt. It was Rankin's ball in, which was a decent one in the end, but the defensive efforts of Sydney United, and second to none today. And that's all she wrote. Sydney United 58 with a much-needed win, and they hand the Mount Druitt Town Rangers their 5th straight loss in this competition. It was 2